Doing slope from 2 points. So our essential question today is, how do I find the slope of a linear equation from 2 points? So as we've discussed previously, there are 4 types of slopes. There is positive slope that increases from left to right. There is negative slope that decreases from left to right again. If the line is horizontal, the slope is 0. And if the slope is vertical, then it is undefined. I shared this visual with you previously, but we can do our slope dude, right? So he's got positive slope, negative slope. This is our sad slope dude. His undefined nose, his 0 slope mouth, and then there's our slope dude. So when we talk about 2 points, that means that we're given 2 coordinates. So it's not just points on a graph this time, it is coordinates that we have to look at. There is a formula. We calculate the slope of a line passing through 2 points by using a formula. The points are given as x1, y1, x2, y2. Order is very important. We still use m for slope, so that m is written as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So as you look at this graph that we have here, here are our original 2 points. As we shift to subtract them, let me do this instead. Here's y2 and here's y1. And they both go right here. Order is really important. Notice that the y2 is first. That means that x2 must be first. So when we do that one, we have x1 and x2, and they have to go in this order, x2 minus x1, to be able to plug them into the formula and get the slope based on the coordinates of the line. Sometimes you're not going to have a graph, and you're not going to want to draw it out to be able to find the slope on a graph when you just have points and can use a quick formula. So we're going to start by identifying these coordinates. I'm going to give you a point here, and we are going to find the slope. So the first one is x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. So we start with our formula, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is negative 1 minus. This negative must always be here. This other number can be something else. In this case, y1 is negative 3, but this must always be here. Over x2 is 6 minus a negative 2. And again, this minus must always be there. It's going to change as we do this. Oops. This becomes 1 plus 3 and 6 plus 2, which is, negative 1 plus 3. Helps if I write that down wrong or correctly. Negative 1 plus 3. So that's 2 over 8, which is 1/4. So then it says to sketch. So there's my X and my Y, right? There's my grid. Over 6 down 1 is about right there. We're just ballparking it, estimating. And then -2, -3 is right there. And so that line looks like that. I probably should have made that cleaner. What kind of slope is that? As we move from left to right, this is positive slope. So now let's look at the second one. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. M equals Y2 is 0 minus 6 over 3 minus a -5. Remember I said that initially those must be negatives. I can change that now, right? This one becomes a positive. 2 negatives become a positive. So this is -6 over 8, which reduces, simplifies, I can divide both of those by 2, and I get -3 over 4. So that's my final slope. So that when I sketch it, one, two, three, four, five, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about right there. And 1, 2, 3, up or down 0. So this line looks like that, give or take. This is -5, 6. This one is 3, 0. What kind of slope is that? If we go back and look at our slope, dude, it looks like this I, which is negative. Okay, let's do it a few more times. Label your points first for number 3. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. M equals Y2 is -3 minus -3 over 2 minus -4. These stay positive to start with, but then we change them plus and plus. -3 plus 3 is 0 over 6, but 0 divided by anything is 0. So that when I sketch this graph, -4, -3, and 2, -3, so that when I sketch that line, you can see that it's like the mouth in our slope dude, which has 0 slope. All right, number 4, label your points. So a lot of what we do is partial credit, as much as possible. And so if I can look at a problem and see that you have the beginnings of understanding, like you understand the points you're supposed to use and how they're supposed to go, and you write down the formula, and then you substitute incorrectly or simplify incorrectly or subtract incorrectly, then at least I can give you some points because I know that you understand at least part of what you're doing from what's written down right now. So then we substitute. Y2 is 2 minus y1 is negative 7 over x2 is 5 minus 5. These stay negative to start with, and then we can change them into pluses. So this is 9 over 0. But I told you we can't divide by 0, so that is undefined. So when we sketch this, 5, negative 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's this point right here, 5, negative 7, and we go over 5 up 2, and that's right there, 5, 2, oops. And when we draw our line, that is undefined slope. All right. So these next four, I'm not going to have you do the graph. It's just about using the formula. So when we go in, again, label and write down the formula, write as much as you can to show me that you know something so I can give you as many points as possible. So x1, y1, x2, y2. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is negative 17 minus negative 17 over negative 15 minus 16. This becomes a positive so that I get 0 over negative 31, which is 0. This is horizontal slope. All right, for number 6, x1, y1, x2, y2. M equals y2 is 10 minus a negative 5 over 18 minus a negative 2. This changes to a positive and a positive, which gives us 15 over 20. What can I divide 15 and 20 by? Has to be the same number. I can divide them both by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. That is positive slope. How do I know it's positive? The sign right there that isn't written tells me that it's positive. Number 7, x1, y1, x2, y2. M equals negative 12 minus a negative 1 over 11 minus 11, because the x's are the same. This becomes a positive. That is negative 11 over 0, which is undefined or vertical slope. Notice that as I'm doing these, the blocking in my answers, putting a square around them so that it's easy to determine what I think my answer is. You should do the same thing. If I have to hunt or search for your answer, especially on a quiz or a test, I'm less likely to do so. So again, label x1, y1, x2, y2. M equals 8 minus 2 over negative 2 minus 16. That's 6 over negative 18. The negative doesn't really matter where it is on top or bottom. We put on the negative because that's where it starts, because that's the denominator is negative, but now the whole fraction is written negative. I can divide both those numbers by 6 so that I end up with negative 1 over 3. Because of this negative right here, oops, that is bad. Because of this negative right here, that's how I know that my fraction or my slope is negative. So if you were to write the steps on how to solve for slope given 2 points, what's the first thing that we did? We labeled the coordinates. We substituted into the formula m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and then we simplify. So that if you are asked to find the steps, that would be what they'll be. And that is how we find slope from 2 points.